When we're talking about the Palestinian Authority, we know of 80,000 buildings, houses, schools.
We're losing our country.
The Palestinian Authority is paying people to kill Jews.
And we have to fight in all ways possible.
We're facing an enemy who's trying to destroy us, who's trying to send us away from here, and we cannot let that happen.
In this episode of Tribe Journal, we visit with ranking members of the Israeli government to hear their perspective on the inaction of the Israeli military and government to stop the Palestinian Authority's quiet, steady, and unilateral build-out of their independent state getting what appears to be a free pass from Israel. This is the story of how Israel's inaction is building a state of chaos. Tribe Journal was able to produce informative and professional documentary films because of members like you. If you have not joined our digital community yet, please consider visiting tribejournal.org. Thank you for helping us tell the untold, and may we see shalom in our days.
This area was supposed to be a natural reserve. This is the Judean desert. In Jericho, in Alevan, in Sebastia, in other places that trying to erase the history. Here, this is the demolition of the future. The demolition of the future of the state of Israel, the demolition of the future of the communities that live here, and this is the demolition of the Judean desert, and we have to fight it in all ways possible.
But the ways to fight this aggressive Arab expansionism are limited and seem fruitless under the current system, as the Palestinian Authority unilaterally builds its independent state by poaching Israel's Area C under the Oslo Accords. Oslo has gone down in history as a deceptive, failed, and perhaps naive pipe dream called the two-state solution. Today, the Arabs construct cities without any input from Israel, and Israel's inaction to confront the illegal construction only emboldens the Palestinian Authority to steadily choke Jewish settlements and conquer the West Bank as mapped out in the 2009 Fatah Plan for Palestinian independence. The apparent one-sided policies of the IDF and the Israeli government forced a group of Jewish men to practice civil disobedience and bring attention to this important social issue. For more than a decade, the Palestinian Authority has been executing the Fatah Plan for Palestinian independence with little to no resistance or action from the Israeli government. This Arab land grab has resulted in tens of thousands of homes stretching across large plots of land in Area C and nature reserves in an effort to box in Jewish settlements in the region and create facts on the ground.
ככה בצד ימין, רואים את כל הארץ פרוסה לרגלינו, הארץ הזאת, ארץ חמדה שהקדוש ברוך הוא בחר אותה, ובעזרת השם אנחנו מאוד מקווים שהשם ייתן לנו כוח להמשיך, להישאר, להחזיק פה בכל הכוח, לא לוותר על שום דבר, על שום רגב אדמה, עם כל הכוח, עם כל השמחה, עם כל ההתלהבות, ולא להירתע מכל הקשיים, ובעזרת השם גם שהקשיים יהיו יותר קלים ממה שצפוי.
תראו, חבר'ה ערבים מגיעים לפנות. תראו מה זה, המינהל מביא ערבים, תראו מה זה. לא יאומן, מדינת ישראל. לא יאומן. מחבלים מגיעים לפנות. למה לחנוק? למה לחנוק? תודה רבה. הצידה, כל מתוד. אתה חונק אותו! אתה חונק אותו! נריה! אתה חונק אותו!
Tribe Journal sat down with leaders in the current coalition government to hear their perspective. Member of Knesset, Yuli Edelstein, the former Speaker of the House and current Chair of Foreign Affairs and Security Committee, explains.
When there is a house without all the proper permits constructed in one of the Israeli communities, the authorities are on the spot within 24 or 48 hours max. And you know what? And I even don't object to that. I mean, everything has to be organized and legal and with all the proper documentation. But when we're talking about the Palestinian Authority right now, we know of 80,000, I repeat, 80,000 illegal buildings, houses, you name it, schools.
And this has escalated from land poaching to shots fired at Jewish communities in the region. On July 28, 2022, in Efrat, a well-established Jewish community next to Bethlehem, Michael Sperver was preparing for bed when he heard more than 10 M16 bullets strike his house. Michael has been actively preventing local Arabs from building houses on Efrat municipal land right up to the border of his own neighborhood.
7 minutes. They shoot it on our house for 7 minutes. More than 10 bullets, actually. Yeah.
Let's go talk. I want to hear your
Okay.
thoughts on that. Thanks for
Okay.
showing us the tour.
So the story here is very interesting because in 1 kilometer, you can find Christians, Muslims, guys from Turkey, Falahim, Arab workers, walking, guys that came from Sudan, and they're all living here. If you know how to handle them, how to manage them, it's easy to solve problems with them.
You're sitting here right now. Behind you is, quote unquote, the enemy, someone who just literally shot at least 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And you're just, caring about your day. What does that feel like to think that there might be a scope on you at any time of day?
You're living your life. You're trying to feel good. You're trying to get out from your personal story and to see how we prevent the next event. How we can protect not only a family, a Sperber family, but everybody else. And not even in Efrat.
For my audience, when you say event, we're thinking of Facebook events. We're thinking of like things that are happening around town for the different communities. Like there might be a party or a concert. What do you mean when you say event?
The terror attack, we part of the whole Judean Samaria. I have a lot of connection with them. Some of my good friends are Arab, by the way. I'm speaking with them, they're eating with me. Some of them are very, very nice guys. We need to make the difference between the terrorist guys and the regular guys. Most of them want to leave, just to leave, like us. And the solution should be very strict, very sharp. We need to stop the illegal building because it's giving them the wing to go ahead and to make these terror attacks.
You're talking about these buildings on the hill, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally a couple football fields away.
Yeah.
This hill over here, how long has the construction been going on over there?
In the last 10 years.
10 years. So 10 years ago, we would have come here, the place is empty.
Empty. By the way, it's archaeological place. It's part of the Pools of Solomon. Here's the Pools of Solomon. A very historical, important place. Not just for us, for the Jews, but for the Christians, for anybody else. And they're just coming and building, and nobody stopping them.
This is Area C, right?
It's Area C.
When you moved out here, this was part of the Oslo process, and
exactly,
you were coming out here and enjoying the beautiful hills, and there was going to be a process where things were going to be worked out, and then suddenly, fast forward a decade or two, and you're being shot at by someone a couple football fields away. How does that make you feel as an Israeli citizen?
I'm feeling that we're losing our country. We're losing the shilton. We're losing the simple things. Because if I'm using the road, the entrance from Efrat, and we, not I'm personally, but everybody else, have the feeling that they can shoot you from those illegal houses, it makes you to feel not confident and not safe. And look, I'm paying taxes, I'm working, I'm a regular citizen in the Israeli country. I need to feel like everybody else in Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv, Haifa. And the government, the country, need to come and to force the laws here. Not just for Jews, but even for the Arabs. The army and the Minhal HaEzrachi should come, and if somebody build his simple or not simple house on a land that it's our land, it needs to be destroyed.
We know of 80,000 illegal buildings, houses, you name it, schools. This is something that really makes future agreements impossible, something that hurts the environment, something that creates a chaos in this whole area that is sensitive anyway. And if we want to find some way to live side by side and to somehow coexist in Judea and Samaria, I think that what the Palestinian Authority is doing right now is totally counterproductive. The Land of Israel caucus of the Israeli Knesset went on a field trip, so to say, to the Judean desert, to specifically a place that is defined as a nature reserve. And what we found there was very unfortunate. Illegal construction, very well organized, well financed by the Palestinian Authority, hundreds of houses that are in the process of being built. This is a serious violation of all the accords, not just Oslo Accords, but the Y Accords that defined this specific area as a nature reserve where no side, neither Israel nor the Palestinian Authority, can build. We have to stop it right now, because the moment there will be a town or a city, it will be very difficult to deal with that.
So I think what happened to us in the last 30 years is that since the Oslo Accords, we trying to believe the Palestinian Authority that they want peace, they want to coexist with us. But as we see the truth right in front of our eyes, we cannot just believe it will be okay. We have to make sure that it will be okay, because we're seeing the reality. They're educating their kids and motivating them to kill Jews. The Palestinian Authority is paying people to kill Jews. It's very hard to change the mindset of people, but this is our responsibility.
Which people?
As I said, in the army, in the security system, in the government, to change the mindset, to realize what is happening on the ground, and to change the perception, to face it, and not to just shut our eyes.
But the media, both in Israel and abroad, seem to look the other way and downplay the significance of the pay-to-slay policies of the Palestinian Authority to murder Jews.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas also condemning the killing of Israeli civilians, saying further violence on either side would only lead to the deterioration of an already tense situation between the Palestinians and Israelis. Mourners now gathering for the burial of those killed in yesterday's shooting, packing the streets and praying over the bodies of the deceased.
An agreement with the Palestinians based on the two states for two people is the right thing for Israel's security, for Israel's economy, and for the future of our children.
Of course, politically, the opposition does not stand a chance without Mansour Abbas and the 5 seats of the United Arab List, and Ayman Odeh and the 5 seats of the Hadash Ta'al Party.
Our political position is that the solution should be the implementation of peace, the end of occupation, and the establishment of the Palestinian State next to the Israeli one. We think that this demand is compulsory for all of us, and we should push the violence in all of its manifestations aside, and we should engage in peace and construction.
In total, the Arab voters have 10 seats of the opposition's 56 seats, against the coalition government's 64 seats. Said in another way, the Arab Israeli parties make up 22% of the current opposition, a group that was recently a large part of the previous coalition government. It should not surprise anyone that the opposition leader is still calling for 2 states even when the Palestinian Authority is at war against Israel.
We're facing an enemy who's trying to destroy us, who's trying to send us away from here, and we cannot let that happen.
First of all, I don't think that anyone is talking seriously about new peace agreements or concessions to the Palestinian Authority. At least I hope no one raises these ideas. The Palestinian Authority, it's a dilemma. Because on one hand, we don't want to run day-to-day life in Judean Samaria as far as the Palestinian population is concerned. We're talking about an enemy. And definitely all those dreams about serious security cooperation and the Palestinian Authority taking care of terrorist nests. Well, that was, I guess, as I said, a nice dream, but it's not happening. Our forces, IDF, the Secret Service have to be on the ground and have to take care of terrorists, and that's exactly what's happening.
We asked MK Yuli Edelstein if there was an unofficial policy to look the other way and allow the 2009 Fayyad plan to come to fruition.
I'm absolutely sure that there is no official or unofficial policy of any Israeli government to let Fayyad realize his plan. The problem is that we are probably too slow. The Palestinians are very determined, and we have a lot of issues on our hands. Challenges, positive things, lots of things are happening, and somehow we sometimes, wake up too late. And that's why our caucus is here today, to try to bring the attention to these things that to someone may look innocent today. But as I've said, in half a year from now, we will see that the map has changed. The nature won't be the same ever again. The Judean desert doesn't look what it used to be, and we have to take care of these things.
If the government is turning a blind eye to the illegal Arab construction, is it possible that they would turn a blind eye to the Jewish illegal construction?
I don't think that it's a good way out. I think that everything has to be legal, everything has to be on the table. We have to develop Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria because, as I've said many times, you can't stop life. If there are 300 families, they will have children born. The children will need housing, kindergarten, schools, and so on and so forth. We just can't stop life. As far as the Palestinians are concerned, they have area A and B. They don't have to build in nature reserves. They don't have to be to build in area C. They have enough resources. They just have to start planning things properly. If they want to run the civil part of their life, it's, I think, high time to do so.
Are there any military experts in any country that would say that the West Bank as a Palestinian state is a defensible border, especially with them calling for war against Israel?
I don't know. I think that it's very important to hear all the experts, but we've seen already in our life how experts were right and how experts were wrong. So we have to learn from the lessons of the past. And I will just quote the then Israeli foreign minister, famous Abba Eban, who was not considered a hawk or a right wing, and he called the 67 borders the borders of Auschwitz. We have to always keep in mind that in this problematic area, Israel not only has the right, but must have the tools and means to defend itself as long as it takes.
Is there a consensus on that, militarily speaking, from the generals in the IDF and the military?
I believe so. I think that all those dreams about, the withdrawal and no peace between two states, the situation in the Gaza Strip where there was total withdrawal, not a single Jew, not a single soldier, no one, and still we have ongoing war on that border.
General Gershon Hakohen mentioned that civilians would play a strong role in defense. Do you want to comment on that point that he made about civilians preventing smuggling into the West Bank from Jordan across the Jordan River?
I would say that in general, I don't know at least of any country around the world where the army could have efficient and effective control of the territory if there is no civilian presence there. That's true about everywhere. That's true about Israel and the Middle East. That's why I think that Israeli communities are very important, Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. And yes, the civilians are doing their part, but having said that, civilians should never try to replace the IDF. We have wonderful defense forces. They know how to do the job. Thank you.
As the Hebrew year 5784 begins and the Gregorian calendar year 2023 comes to a close, is this the beginning of the end of the road for the Palestinian Authority's wild ambitions to conquer the West Bank? Will they be able to reverse course after their efforts to ignite a generation towards war? Is it too late to settle for control of their already independently run cities throughout Judea Samaria? Or has the Palestinian Authority only known war and is simply incapable of leading their people towards any sense of long-term well-being, prosperity, and future for their children? Tribe Journal was able to produce informative and professional documentary films because of members like you. If you have not joined our digital community yet, please consider visiting tribejournal.org. Also, if you or a friend would like more information about sponsoring an episode or an entire docuseries, please send us an email at info@tribejournal.org. Thank you for helping us tell the untold, and may we see shalom in our days.